Hey, what's going on everyone? It's McCall, and today let's talk about the one thing that's going to instantly make you a better photographer or filmmaker. Alright, so you all are probably wondering what this one thing is, right? If you think that is the latest and greatest camera out there on the market, lens, maybe a light or lighting modifier, the latest and greatest camera, gimbal, accessory, or anything like that, unfortunately, you guys are wrong. Those are nothing more than tools to help streamline a workflow, and if you can justify spending the additional X amount of money on that accessory to help improve your work, that's what those tools are for. What I'm bringing to the table today is one thing that can instantly make you a better artist. And this does not cost any money, guys. All right, are you ready to hear it? It is called constructive criticism. So in order for this video to serve its intended purpose, I need you all to have an open mind for the topic we're gonna be discussing today. Do y'all think you can do that for me? Thank you. Alright, so constructive criticism is honestly a touchy topic for a lot of photographers and filmmakers. All these artists out there sometimes don't want to hear the negative things about their work, myself included. Whenever I was starting out, whenever I first began my journey as a filmmaker and photographer back in 2009-ish, I was actually seeking constructive criticism because I was just starting out. I didn't know what I was doing. I was open-minded to hear what other people were doing. And then once I got my first DSLR and I started getting some primes and stuff like that, and my work was okay for my age and time being in the arts, that's when I stopped receiving constructive criticism. Like, I would go out of my way to make sure no one put any comments on my Facebook or YouTube posts or anything like that. And that was one of the biggest hindrances to my career. So why is constructive criticism such a big deal today? Well, it's actually not so much about your current work, but it's actually about other photographers and the way that they view your work. I can post a picture that I think is just perfect, and I'm like, man, I am really happy with that image. And a maybe more professional photographer, maybe not even as advanced of a photographer as me, will look at that and they'll be like, that's great, but like the blacks, like her hair just kind of fades into the black, like it's totally just getting lost right there and I can't see any detail. It's about expanding my mind a little bit to view more than what I was able to with that image. They're just trying to open my eyes, broaden my scope, if you will, of what I'm able to interpret from that image. Now, here's where things kind of get tricky. A lot of photographers hide behind the saying, well, it's an artistic decision. Or they might say something like art is subjective, or there's no real way of seeing someone else's vision on their work or something like that. There's a lot of different quotes and sayings that we hide behind to justify our work. I have done this in the past, and a really good scenario is whenever I was starting out with studio photography, I didn't have nice flashes. As a matter of fact, I didn't have flashes at all. I didn't have monolights. I didn't even have little speed lights like this. Now, I'm not saying you have to have flash to be a good photographer. I'm just giving you a real world scenario that actually happened to me. I had a really cheap black sheet backdrop that was paper thin, see-through, and I had really cheap $100 eBay studio lights that had 4 incandescent bulbs you screwed in to these lights with really cheaply made softboxes, and I just didn't have the light output or the ISO capability to do a lot of the things that I was wanting to do inside of a studio, which is realistically just my bedroom. So whenever I would bring models in or whatever, and their hair would just kind of fade into the background, and I was covering up a lot of really good detail that should have been there, I hid behind those sayings. No, it was an artistic touch. Or no, art is subjective. This is how I want it to be. I've done that before, and deep down, right here, I knew that I was wrong. It took a professional photographer from Instagram, a guy that I was following for years, and I always reached out to for help or whatever. He never did respond because, keep in mind, this guy has 100,000 plus followers. And finally, I sent him a picture that everyone was like critiquing, and this is back whenever I was having trouble accepting constructive criticism, and he was like, look man, he said, I've been doing photography for 16 years. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. You're just now starting to get some pretty decent gear. You're trying to learn more and expand your knowledge on, studio lighting and this and that. He said, honestly, it's best to just kind of swallow your pride and listen to some of these people. He said, it doesn't take a professional photographer to realize that your work really is just beginner. Now, this was hurtful, guys. This crushed my spirit and my heart and everything that I had going for photography, but it did not kill the fire that I had inside of me. As a matter of fact, that actually fueled the fire where I was like, you know what? I really do appreciate that. I was mature enough to realize that this dude, he went out of his way to give me this really big long comment as to where he's been and where I'm at now, and the things that he went through. I was like, you know what? I really do appreciate that. That was a wake-up call for me. I was like, you know what? Scratch all this. Quit the studio lighting, quit all this. I'm gonna get back to the basics and learn how to manipulate natural light. And that's what I started doing. So constructive criticism is not bad. And I'm not saying that you should accept all constructive criticism, because there's a lot of just trollers out there. There's people that will just be like, hey man, this sucks because of XYZ. And it's like, no, that's not constructive criticism. I'm talking about when someone legitimately posts, some kind of like Facebook comment, maybe a YouTube comment, Instagram message or something like that, trying to help you and give you a different outlook. Accept it. Just swallow your pride and accept it. Even me today, there's YouTube videos that I'm pushing out to you all where people are like, hey man, great work on the gimbal review, but you shouldn't use S-Log3 on the Sony a6500. Guys, I know what the a6500 is capable of. I know that log is somewhat counterintuitive to use in 8-bit 420 color space. I was actually just doing it just for fun. That was all. Guys, I'm still accepting constructive criticism even at my level today, and I'm still learning and improving. So whenever someone takes the time to send you a message or post something, consider what they are telling you all. Don't be so sensitive about it, because this is the one thing that can instantly help you. It's not going to be all of this fancy gear. It's not going to be $1,000 invested into photography studio lighting. It's going to be constructive criticism. Let other artists expand your mind, and then other people that have a different outlook on your image, and just embrace it. Okay? So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope I didn't offend anyone out there. I really just wanted to make this video because it's been hitting me right here recently with a lot of stuff going on in Facebook groups and whatnot. I just kind of wanted to help you all out a little bit and to show you my perspective on this topic. All right, so as always, if you enjoy the content I'm pushing out to you, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for those weekly uploads. All right, get out there, start shooting, and offer and accept constructive criticism. Take it easy. My name's McCall.